If you're thinking of hiring an agency, stop what you're doing and watch this first. Because a flashy website or a large social media platform does not mean that they understand your business, your offers, or your business's current level of scale. This is episode 2 of the YouTube hiring series, and today we are diving into the biggest mistake most people make when they're hiring an agency and the questions that you need to ask before you hire someone. And if you missed episode 1, make sure you go back and watch that one first. We broke down the difference between doing it yourself, hiring a team internally, and then hiring an agency to determine which one might actually be best for you and for your business. If you don't know me, my name is Melissa Mitchell, and I am the owner of Wandermint Creative. And on this channel, we help coaches, consultants, and service providers pull out their authority and create sales engines on the back end of their YouTube channels so they can bring in sales on autopilot. So first, let's start with what most people get wrong when they're hiring an agency. And trust me, I have seen it all. The very first mistake that I see is hiring based on a vibe from a sales call or a DM conversation or whatever the case may be, instead of an actual proven process. Here's the thing. I get that vibes are a thing. Okay. And I get that maybe it was a great sales call or maybe it was a great DM conversation. But that doesn't necessarily mean great delivery. Often the founder, or a lot of times for a lot of these agencies, the salesperson will paint a very compelling picture because that's what they were trained to do. A lot of the time, these are salespeople who are very well trained in sales. But lots of times, what happens when you actually start? Who's doing the work that you're paying for? What is their system like? Are you just buying someone's vibe or their charisma, or are you actually paying for and buying a proven system? So when you're having these conversations, I want you to ask them to walk you through their process. Ask them what the first 30, 60, 90 days together will look like. If they can't clearly give you a process or a timeline, this is a huge red flag. And as a side note here with these sales conversations, I firmly believe you should be walking away from those calls with clarity instead of a pressure to feel like you have to buy. I don't know about you, but I've been on many of those calls and it just doesn't feel right. Sometimes you actually end up purchasing just because you felt pressured, but then the results that you get from that don't really equal what you were promised on the sales call. And it just doesn't feel good, right? So that's mistake number 1. Make sure that they have a process. Mistake number 2 kind of piggybacks off of mistake number 1, but it's buying into a process that isn't actually customized to your business. Because they could have a process that's very cookie cutter that they take every single business through, but I want you to ask them, how is this customized to me? Are they factoring in the season of business you're in? Do they know what your scale archetype is? How are they actually customizing your content and your strategy to fit that? Because if you're in building phase, or if you're in scaling phase, or you're in refining phase, or you're in innovating phase, those are all very, very different. And your strategy at those different levels of scale are going to look completely different. A copy and paste content calendar is not going to actually bring sales into your business if it doesn't account for all of those different things. A real agency should understand that, and they should be able to customize and co-create with you to make sure that your strategy is actually fitting whatever level of scale that you're in. If you're watching this video and you're like, I don't know what level of scale I am, I don't know what archetype I am, totally fine. That's why I created my quiz for you. You can figure out what level of scale your business currently is by taking the quiz in the description below here for you. Now, mistake number 3 is paying for editing, but expecting strategy. This is one that I see all of the time. Businesses sign up for what they think is like a full service kind of situation, but it turns out to be just editing. There is no help with strategy, with scripting, with SEO, with thumbnails. It's just you film a video, give it to them, they edit it and give it back to you. Now, lots of times this can just happen from miscommunication where you might think that there's strategy included, but really they're just an editing agency. And that is completely fine if that's all that you're looking for. But if you're looking for a full service agency, really make sure that you understand all of the different things that go into their actual service. Here at Wandermint Creative, we are a very strategy first type of agency. We really spend many, many hours researching your specific business and your specific strategy to make sure that it fits holistically with the rest of your marketing. And so that we are crafting hooks that are specific for your business and your industry so that we can have people entering into the back end of your sales ecosystem. If you are looking for that type of agency, you can apply to work with us in the description below here. Okay, mistake number 4 is hiring a general agency who also does YouTube. Now, this is another big one. A lot of social media agencies or marketing agencies will just throw YouTube into their service offerings like it's any other social media platform. But the problem here is that YouTube really is its own ecosystem. It's nothing like Instagram or Pinterest or LinkedIn or TikTok. It's a long form platform that really rewards SEO, retention, thumbnails, click-through rates, and it's more of a long game of building your audience over time than a lot of those other platforms, which means that the strategy needed on YouTube is completely different from those other platforms. So if they're saying that they're an expert in all of these different platforms, I would be a little bit wary and make sure that you're asking the right questions to make sure that they actually are. If YouTube is one out of 12 different services that they offer, they're most likely not an expert in all of them. And they're most likely not keeping up with the trends and the algorithm changes that they need to make sure they're staying competitive for that platform. Our agency is built specifically around YouTube. It's all we do, and there's a reason for that. Mistake number 5 is hiring based on price instead of ROI. Now, I get it. It's tempting to sometimes base an agency based on price, right? But YouTube's support and pricing ranges for a reason. Some business owners will hire a $500 a month social media manager and expect a $50,000 a month result. Most of the time, when it comes to agencies and strategists, you get what you pay for. If they are a specialized full-time agency that seems cheap, there's probably a reason for that. Now, if you're feeling a little bit of sticker shock when you look at a full-time monthly management option, you could always look to hiring a YouTube consultant instead. A YouTube consultant more so helps with YouTube strategy, content ideas, keyword research, sometimes even a little bit of thumbnail design or thumbnail idea generation, but then actually hands that off to your team to execute. Now, if you're wondering which option would be best for you, you can apply to my agency in the description below, and I'll actually personally review your answers to the application to see which of these options would work best for you. Mistake number 6. Expecting YouTube to fix broken offers or messaging. I hate to be the bearer of bad news here, but YouTube isn't magic. If your messaging is unclear, your backend funnel is broken, or your offer just isn't what people are looking for, no amount of visibility will create conversions. This is why it's so important to have an agency whose onboarding includes a review of your offers and your lead strategy. Because before we pour a bunch of time and effort into creating a strategy off of those offers and that lead strategy, we want to make sure that that's already solid, that your messaging is solid, that your offers are solid, so that when we put more fuel in the fire, things actually convert for you. As a co-strategist, your YouTube agency should be helping you with this. They should be working with you to craft that big picture messaging to make sure that your content is cohesive with your videos. So now that you know the 6 mistakes of what not to do when you're hiring, let's go through the questions that you really should be asking when you're interviewing these different agencies. The first one is, how do you create a video strategy for your clients? You want to be looking for a repeatable system here, some sort of process that is uniquely theirs. They should be mentioning things like audience research, keyword research, a holistic business approach. They should be saying more than just, we help you go viral. Question number 2, do you focus on SEO, algorithm, or audience growth? Now, ideally, you want an agency that's focusing on all 3. And they should be able to explain when and why they use each at different times, depending, again, on your season of business. All right, question number 3 is, how do you make sure that our videos get sales, not just views? You want to hear them say things like strategic calls to actions, funnel, and content based on search versus algorithm. Question number 4 is, what's included in your monthly plan? Some agencies offer strategy only, while others are like a full production. You really want to understand the scope of work before you sign up with someone. Question number 5 is, who's doing the work and what are they specialized in? Ask whether they outsource their work or if who you're talking to does the work themselves. Do they hire contractors to help them with specific parts of the process, or do they have internal team members to work on specific details? Also, a really important thing to ask here is who's the strategist that's going to be working on your account and how much access do you have to them? Who's going to be your point of contact if you have questions throughout the month? Because lots of times there will be big agencies that you hire where your point of contact is actually different from your strategist. And this can have pros and cons depending on how they actually outline that work process. So these are all really important questions that you ask so that you understand what your working relationship is going to be like with that agency. Question number 6 is, do I get access to performance data? The answer here should be yes. Again, depending on how much data you want every single month, you can discuss that with them, or they might have a process where they send it to you monthly or quarterly. But you want to ask them for things like your watch time, your audience retention, your click-through rate, your subscriber conversion, so on and so forth. A bonus here would be if they include in their scope of work some time every single month where they actually walk you through these numbers, or some sort of report that shows what these numbers are doing and how you can improve the next month. Question number 8 is, how do we collaborate on content and direction? Are you expected to script everything out? Are you expected to come up with content ideas? Will they help you guide your messaging? Is there a strategist involved? Like, you really want to understand what your responsibilities are in the process and what their responsibilities are in the process. Question number 9 is, how do you manage feedback and revisions? If they are editing your videos for you or doing scripts for you and you have changes, how are you supposed to send those changes to them? How fast is their turnaround time for revisions? Do they have some sort of communication tool that they use between you and them? Is there a shared platform where everything lives? Is there some sort of workflow that you can expect from them? These are really important questions, again, to make sure that you have the right expectations going into the relationship. And if they're a good agency, they should be walking you through these things anyways. Question number 10 is, can you show me some results from other people that you've worked with? So this could be things like case studies, testimonials, before and after screenshot, or examples of videos that they've done that have performed well. And it's important to note here that results doesn't necessarily mean the amount of views on the videos or the amount of subscribers that their clients have, but really ask for results in terms of clients and in terms of sales. And question number 11 is, do you offer strategy without editing or vice versa? Versatility here is important because, again, not every single business is the same. Maybe you want a strategist who helps you with optimization and uploading, but you have your own internal editor. Or maybe you need everything except for script writing because you prefer to write your own scripts. Make sure that there is some flexibility in the terms of the scope of work that they can do for you so that they can customize it a little bit to what you're needing inside of your business. Understanding these questions and having them up when you're going to hire an agency is going to save you so much time, so much money, and so much headache. So make sure to go back and listen to them again, write them down somewhere so that you're prepared for your next call or conversation with the person that you're ready to hire. And if you're still wondering what level of scale you are in and you want to understand how that's going to affect your YouTube strategy, make sure to take my quiz in the description below here for you. Plus, make sure to stay tuned for the next episode in this series where I'm going to walk you through exactly what to expect when you hire a YouTube agency. And inside of that video, I'm actually going to be interviewing one of my agency clients so that you can see from her perspective what it's like to work with an agency. So make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on that video. We'll see you there.